Windsor is a vibrant, dynamic community with a wide array of intriguing businesses and interesting people. See what new businesses are coming to town. Hear about restaurants you haven't been to before. Learn the latest tips and tricks of technology. Find out what's happening around town. Get it all here on Windsor Today.
Hi, I'm Jane Garibay, Executive Director of the Windsor Chamber of Commerce.
And I'm Marty McMahon, President of the Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to Windsor Today. Well, we've got a lot going on in town in the next month or so, Jane, and I just want to go over a few things that are coming up.
That'd be great.
The First Church of Christ is going to have a musical lunch on December 6th.
Okay.
And that's called Nourishment for Body and Soul. And then also from the First Church on December 19th, they're going to have a parenting forum called Children's Self-Esteem. So that should be good. Also, we've got the Chamber of Commerce has a holiday breakfast coming up, and that's going to be held at Alstrom. And what we do is we collect toys for tots, and we also do make money for the Windsor Fuel Bank and the Windsor Food Bank.
Right, and Alstom's been kind enough to host it for us each year, Marty. And we work with Safety Services, who do a big collection. It'll be posted on the website shortly, a list of ages and whether it's a boy or a girl. And so it makes it a little bit more personal who you're adopting. Also, if you're interested in adopting a whole family, we can arrange that through Safety Services in the town of Windsor. So it's a great event, and as everyone knows, there's more need in the last year or two. So it is open to the public to come to that breakfast. And all are welcome, and we bring canned foods, and again, the proceeds, like you said, do go to the fuel bank.
And that time of year is important to give to those types of organizations. Also, we have a Civitan meeting coming up in December. On December 13th, one of our chamber members, John Waveris from Visible Gold, will be presenting Hackers at Your Door to that club. And speaking of John Waveris, we're now going to go to Tech Discovery with John Waveris.
Okay.
Hi, I'm John Waveris, and this is Tech Discovery. Today we're going to talk about MySpace and Facebook and all these what you might call social networking programs that are coming out on the internet.
Yep.
And Andrew, what can you tell us about them?
Well, MySpace and Facebook are a part of a growing industry where users can network, buddy up, and kind of explore different ideas. They can write notes to each other, write a blog, they can become friends with other people, and keep contact with people that are otherwise too far away or too distant to communicate with.
Now, how does this relate to email? Don't we already we can email to people, right?
But in many cases, it's different than email, because with email, there's kind of that social anxiety and boundary for a lot of people, whereas with Facebook or with MySpace, you've got the person's profile picture, and all you have to simply do is go onto their page, type something up and hit post, and you're already communicating with them. Whereas with email, it's kind of a larger social boundary. It's almost like going from the letter to the email. Email is often easier for people than writing a letter nowadays, and in some cases the same holds true with sending a note or a message through MySpace or Facebook.
Right, okay. So on MySpace, you actually get to see the picture of the person and read about them before you might send an email to them, right?
Exactly. As long as they put up truthful information. There's always that concern. There's actually a limit on the age. You have to be a certain age to sign up on MySpace. The problem is a lot of kids purposely put in fake ages, fake photos, and a variety of other information to get onto the web space. So. That makes sense.
Now, there's this idea of personal and private on MySpace, right?
Yes.
A lot of people don't understand this because if you haven't used MySpace, that's the one to start out with. We all think of it as that TV show where they catch pedophiles, right?
Yeah.
Right. But there's a lot more to this.
Yes.
I just heard recently, MySpace, as of a month ago, was the #1 site on the internet. Most of the traffic, you take out all the YouTubes, all the Googles, and the Amazons, MySpace was the biggest one.
Yep.
And so it's bigger than what everyone thinks, right?
Yeah, it is definitely bigger, and a lot of people have access to it. And so when it comes to the public and the private, there are certain precautions that you can take. There is a way to make it so that the only people that can actually see your information are people on your friends list. So in that way you can kind of protect yourself. But there's also the problem of anything you do put on there is available to the company. They can actually see it, and so it is accessible to people, technically speaking.
Right. So anything you put on the internet in general, right?
Anything, email, anything you send over the net can be seen by people, and if they really need to access it, they will access it.
Yeah. Wasn't there a politician where his daughter had pictures of herself on Facebook?
Yep. There's a lot of that. I mean, and the funny thing is, now interviewers and companies, when they want to look at prospective employees, they actually log on to Facebook. And if your profile is public, they'll actually scope out all of your photos, see what kind of interests you have, to get a greater view of their candidate.
Oh my! So if you're looking for a job or applying for college, take down your MySpace Facebook page, or make it really nice.
Yeah.
I'm into helping out the community. I give blood every Sunday. Do you have yours public or private, or is there a line?
I have all of my pages private, and I have actually a lot of my information private, and that's because, to be honest, I don't want just anybody looking at my profile page. It's really for me to network, for me to communicate with who I want to. And whenever I write something, I write as if I have an audience. And that's the important thing to realize, is that you do have an audience. I mean, your photos, it says something about you. Your interests, what you write in your notes, what you write in your blog, everything says something about you. And so it's really important to think about that before posting information, because a lot of people, it's kind of like the id for a lot of people. Their other side comes out. The internet is kind of like you have an alternate personality that can really shine through, and that can be a bad thing and a good thing depending on who sees it.
A little while ago you mentioned Facebook they grew huge because they started out in colleges, right?
Yes.
So you had to be a college student to have a Facebook account?
The only way you can actually sign up through Facebook originally is, it started off with Harvard. Mark Zuckerberg was a student, a sophomore in Harvard, and he decided to drop out to start Facebook. And it started off by just Harvard. Harvard students could log on using their email accounts, and the only way they could log on is if it was a Harvard email address. Eventually he opened it up to more and more schools as the months passed by, and now in a little over 3 years, it's now in some cases bigger than MySpace, money-wise. So it's interesting to see how fast it's grown, and that's how they really plugged into the market. Is you have a lot of different companies like Friendster and everything trying to take MySpace's share, but they can't. It's very difficult because they're already established. Facebook decided to target a certain demographic, and they have now a user base. And they only recently, a month ago, came out into the public and let anyone sign up. So,
interesting. Now here's a question. Going forward, I have a theory, but I want to hear your thought on this. The internet first was email for 10 years, and then it was web pages for 10 years. Do you think this whole idea of the social network is the next 10-year phase?
I think it's something that'll definitely grow. It is really the future of social networking and everything. A lot of people say that the relationships are hollow, and to an extent I would agree, but they're as hollow as you want them to be. If you want to establish a close relationship with someone, it doesn't hurt. It makes it easier to actually approach someone on these networking pages, communicate with them, and get ideas thrown back and forth. And so when it comes to advertising for companies, data information, networking for the people that actually use it, I think it's going to grow, and it's going to keep growing into something hopefully good.
Cool. Now, what about bands? I've been told that every band out there has a MySpace page.
Oh yeah, if you want to become well known, I mean, word of mouth is an amazing tool to market yourself, and MySpace just sort of helps with that, because you can set up a band page on MySpace, and you can put up some profile songs that you can have people download or not download, and you can tell yourself, talk about yourself, show when your next shows are going to come up. And so for bands, the nice thing is, if one of your fans really likes your music, they can add your music to their page. And at that point, all of their friends check out that page. They're like, hey, this band sounds kind of cool. So at that point, they add them to their pages, and before you know it, your sound is getting around. And
it sort of introduces them to other people.
Exactly. So it's a wonderful way to market. I mean, for the webpage I work for, we created a MySpace, and that's how we kind of get our name out. You just post something on someone's page, and you're like, hey, how's it going? And right there, they're like, who is this guy? And so they come, check out your page, and they're like, hey, this is kind of cool.
Interesting.
So it's a really easy way to hit a large audience. They have millions and millions of users on MySpace, so it's a really wonderful way to get your name out.
And you just said you post something on someone else's page.
Yep.
Is that something you can do in MySpace? Or?
Yeah. On MySpace, they've got a variety of things you can do. On the very top, you've got a blog space where you can write anything pretty much that interests you. And that's for the user themselves. Then at the bottom, they have a comments portion where people can come in and just sort of post comments on their wall. And so this is where companies can come in and sort of say, hey, how's it going? Or just kind of break the ice there. So.
Interesting. Now, okay, here's a question for, say you're a parent and you have children that either have MySpace or Facebook or they're not quite at that age. Any advice for them? You know, keep their children safe?
Again, MySpace really has like an age limit. And of course, you can't expect kids to just sort of say, oh, I'm not going to go on MySpace, there's an age limit. They're going to find a way around it. So the important thing is communication. You should really voice your concerns with them and really talk to them about the dangers. There are dangers, and they really need to know that that information is not private. That it is open to the internet, and some information that you may not necessarily want out there can get out there.
And there's people out there that you don't want to...
Exactly, and that's the thing. The internet is kind of like a fog. You don't really know. You never really know when it comes to people. And so it's really dangerous to meet someone over the internet because you just don't know who they are. I mean, in a public situation, I mean, these people, you're walking with them, you're out in public, and there's very little danger if someone comes up to you in public and says, hey, what's going on, or something happens. On the internet, more often than not, predators often meet privately with the individual, and that's where things kind of get a little dangerous. So
that crossover between reality and...
Exactly, there's this misconception. And because people take the internet persona as the real deal, when often it's very easy to kind of disguise who you are.
Right, be who you want to be.
Exactly.
Excellent. That's great advice. See you next time. I don't know what we'll talk about yet, but we'll talk about it then. Andrew, thank you very much.
Nice chatting with you.
I'd like to thank John for that presentation on the internet and MySpace. That was very interesting. It's time for our trivia contest, and last month's trivia question, no one got the right answer, so we got to do better. So I'm going to make a real easy one this time, and the trivia question this month is, what type of bird is represented on the statue in front of the Windsor Public Library? So if you'd like to answer that, go to our website and push the Windsor Today button and then Trivia Contest button and put in your answer. Because remember, we're giving away a $25 gift certificate to all the Windsor Center businesses.
Like over 40 businesses participate in that program, so
it's your choice of how you use that
like
25
cash.
bucks. That's
Right.
great. Coming up also, Jane, we've got the Carol Sing on the Green.
Yeah.
And why don't you talk a little bit about what goes on at the Carol Sing?
Yeah, I love the Carol Sing. It's one of my favorite events, Marty. It's on December 7th. It's always the first Thursday in December. And this year, because it was such a huge success last year, we have the children's choir from the AME Zion Church and also from the Trinity Methodist Church, 2 children's choirs. And also, people love Karen Resch and her puppets from Upper Hand. Jimmy will be back. We do this in partnership with the town of Windsor and the recreation department. The fire engine comes, Santa Claus comes, and then our sponsor, Windsor Federal Savings, do pictures with the kids over here in the chamber office. And they provide hot chocolate and cookies, and it's just really a fun evening.
Yeah, I was here last year though, but I was asked not to come back. I guess I'm tone deaf.
No. You're welcome back. And also First Town Downtown is a partner because they do the white lights decorating.
Okay,
if anyone's
yeah, that's
interested in
beautiful.
helping out, give Ashley Williams over at First Town Downtown a call. And they do the countdown for us. So it's great that we can put on these events partnering with other organizations and really able to provide Windsor with a good start to the holiday season.
Well, when I come this year, I'll just hum.
Oh, that's okay, Marty.
Also, one of our members, Creative Fibers, is going to have a elite trunk show from December 7th to December 26th. And Creative Fibers is up on Pequannock Avenue.
I think, though, what I'd like to say to people of Windsor, before you go to the Carol Sing, there's lots of great restaurants around town to eat at. And if we go over to Paula Pierce right now at Taste of India, we'll be able to learn more about one of our great restaurants.
So this is Grab a Bite with Paula Pierce.
Hi, this is Paula Pierce with Grab a Bite. Thanks for joining me again today. Today we're at the Taste of India at 216 Broad Street in Windsor Center. And you're in for a treat. If you haven't been to an Indian restaurant before, you're going to love this. If you like chicken, vegetables, potatoes, rice, those kinds of things, you're all set here. All kinds of specials. The really great thing that I like about Taste of India is the lunch buffet, and we're going to show you that in just a few minutes. And here I am at the lunch buffet. This is my favorite part, as I mentioned, and I'm going to show you exactly. Let's go together to the buffet. You ready? Here we go. I always start in the middle of the buffet because that's where the carbs are. This is where the aromatic basmati rice mixture is, which I love, and the tandoori naan, the bread, flattened bread. So let's take a little of that. This is going to be a good episode. All right, and then we're going to take some of the basmati rice, which is really good. And I'm going to need a bigger plate. Here on the buffet, some of my favorites are the chana, the chicken masala. Masala in Indian actually means spices. So anytime in English you'd say spice, you can say masala in Hindi. And you can ask for, the important thing is to know, if you've never been to an Indian restaurant, and Taste of India is one of the best, you can actually ask for a level of spiciness or heat. So you can go from a mild, even not on the buffet, these are set and they're pretty mild as they are. But if you sit down and order, you can say, I'd like it mild, hot. You can go up, there's 5 levels up to super hot. So it's your choice. If you don't want hot, you don't have to have it. But let me get some more lovely food. This is called Navratan Korma. And this is 9 vegetables with cashews in a lovely sauce. So I'm going to put that right over my rice. I am looking forward to that. There's also a potato and green bean mixture. This is a great place if you're vegetarian, let me tell you. But there's also a lot of chicken dishes too. A little bit of that. As I said in the intro, potatoes, vegetables, if you like those, you're all set here. Here we go, chicken masala. There's also a curry chicken, which is a little bit on the spicy side, and a chicken tandoori. Now that is the most popular dish here. And if you don't know tandoori is a clay oven, and in which they have charcoal, and they broil the food. So they can broil chicken, shrimp, lamb, everything you can think of, including the bread. The tandoori oven is really something to see. I understand that you have Thanksgiving turkeys done in the tandoor. Is that correct?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that special?
We have a big, almost 12 to 14 pound turkeys, and we marinate overnight for that in yogurt and some herbs like ginger, garlic. Mm-hmm. And then we cook that in a clay oven. Mm-hmm. that is called tandoor. That's the same thing we use.
The one we just looked at?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we'll make the pulao rice, the vegetable fried rice, mm-hmm. and cranberry sauce with some bread that you had that one bread for.
The naan?
And naan.
Naan bread, okay.
And then we'll give you some dessert like cheese balls, mm-hmm. with that in a package. So 10 to 12 people can feed that one.
Oh, that's great. Now, how early do they have to order if you want that for your Thanksgiving, for instance?
Actually, they have to order at least a week ahead.
A week ahead,
yeah.
Okay. That's not bad to have your whole dinner cooked for you.
Yes.
You also do catering, is that right?
Yes, we do the catering of big parties like 20 to 100 to 200 people.
Oh, okay.
So, according to their choice, we can make the food or either on the spot, or we can make the food here, and we'll take them there and make a setup like buffets.
Oh, okay,
So
that's
we do
great.
that.
That's very good to know.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for having us here today, Pitamber.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Thank you, Paula. That was a great presentation about Taste of India. The buffet over there is just fabulous.
It is, because you really get to go and try different foods. And, I was a little, because I'm not too adventuresome when it comes to food, but it was fantastic.
Right.
Their curried chicken and the rice, and, they had rice pudding and different things. It was really great.
So, the holidays are coming up, Jane. People should run off to the malls to do their shopping?
No, they should stay in Windsor. There are some things we have to admit that you have to go out of town for, but we have a lot of great, unique shops here in Windsor, and you'll be able to check that out on December 2nd. There'll be town-wide specials, and if you're looking for that unique gift, so that you're not walking in somewhere and everyone has the same sweater on. The great thing, Marty, is you can win a $500 savings bond every time you go to one of the Windsor shops that's participating. You put your name in to win the $500 savings bond donated by Windsor Federal Savings. And that's a great gift to give in itself to your grandchild or someone in your family. As a financial person, you know that.
That's right. Those are good investments.
To do. So we're really excited about that. Shop Windsor. You could also use chamber gift certificates.
Now, when you're shopping in Windsor, is it just down here at the center?
No, it's not. We have lots of great unique shops, from jewelry stores to body and bath, frame shops, jewelry, different things. But we also have, in the southern part of town, even gift certificates to a restaurant. You have the Pequannock area, off of Palisado Avenue, Furry Feet, if you know someone with a pet. So you got to get creative with what you're doing. But also we have the Day Hill shops. And there's a few shops up there.
And speaking of Day Hill shops, we're now going to go to Gloria McMahon with our business beat up in the Day Hill shops.
Hello, I'm Gloria McMahon with the Business Beat. I'm here with Carissa Fusco at the Day Hill Shops here in Windsor. Hello, Chris.
Hello.
Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about the shops here on Day Hill?
The shops have been here since 1989. We have everything from restaurants to daycare center to great donut shop, jewelry store, bank, travel agency, real estate. So a little bit of everything for anybody that's even new to the area.
I was just going to say, if someone's coming in new to the area, this is probably one of the hot spots to hit.
Well, absolutely. It's got a little bit of everything, so it kind of warms them up to what's available to them
here in Windsor, and that's great. Gift certificates available for your holiday?
Absolutely. Bamboo, anywhere from Bamboo Garden all the way down to the travel agency. So have a little Chinese and then head to China.
Okay. And the jewelry shop, you work at the Ashley's Jewelry?
Yeah, I'm from Ashley's Distinctive Jewelry and Gifts. We're actually the only original tenants here. We've been here since 1989, so over 17 years in business.
Wow, that's great.
Yes, and we just specialize in custom. We do everything from repairs to watch repair, and we have a full range, full jewelry salon.
Oh, great.
So offering a little bit of everything.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
So make sure you come down and get your holiday gifts at Ashley's.
Absolutely.
Welcome back, Carissa. Can you tell us a little bit more about the Day Hill shop?
Sure, absolutely. We have Dr. Sennett here behind me, chiropractic, so to fix those aches and pains. He's fabulous. He takes walk-ins, or you can make the appointments.
Oh, great.
After that, we go over to Farmington Valley Orthopedics. Actually, my daughter had the pleasure or unpleasure of having to deal with them last year with a broken ankle, and I can't say enough about them. They were wonderful, and it's nice to have it convenient here. And then right next to them is the Windsor Physical Therapy. John and the gang there, wonderful people.
Great.
Anything where you need the therapy to get strength back at anything, he and his crew are fabulous there.
Wonderful.
And then we move on to one of our stars, which is Zacco's Restaurant and Pizzeria. Two chefs there, Dan and Bobby, who just, two young guys who just love to cook. They have a passion for it. Everything is fresh. It's all homemade.
So lunch, dinner, or just lunch?
Lunch and dinner. And just fabulous food. You won't be disappointed. Daughter, Caitlin, they run Studio Mac. They have a fabulous salon. They do everything from hair color to full makeup. They take walk-ins. They're wonderful there because they take you in and really help you to redefine and redo yourself if you're looking for a whole new redo.
So here we are at the holiday season again, and
Absolutely.
You can use this whole facility here for your holiday needs.
Thank you, Gloria. It was interesting to see all the different things happening up at the Day Hill shops and the places to eat and shops.
That's right. We wanted to point out that the show's, for you, the viewing public, and we're looking for ideas for future episodes. So if you have an idea, please go to our website and push on Windsor Today, and you can give us some ideas, and we really appreciate it. Now we'd like to head over to the Windsor Historical Society with Christine Ermens for our historical moment.
Hello, I'm Christine Ermens, and I'm the director of the Windsor Historical Society, and I welcome you to this moment in history. We're taping this show in the middle of November, and already, you wouldn't believe it, but stores are beginning to display their holiday lights and their decorations. And so I'd like to invite you into our Historical Society store, give you a little bit of history on some Christmas traditions, and then draw your attention, of course, to some items in our store that would make lovely gifts. Now, as most of you know, I guess it's 3:30 in the afternoon, it's coming up on the darkest time of year. It already has that sunset feel time, and many cultures have holiday traditions at this time. You'll see festivals of lights and candles at the darkest time of the year. You see them in our Hanukkah traditions, our Kwanzaa celebrations, and the Scandinavian celebrations of Santa Lucia, the Queen of the Lights. Now, the practice of bringing greens inside dates back to ancient times. Bringing holly and mistletoe in was actually a Celtic tradition. It's kind of a reminder to us all that nature's not really dead, even though it seems like it is. It's just sleeping. That lighter times are coming, that greener times are coming, that rebirth is, in fact, a possibility. Now, in the Middle Ages, religious celebrations of the birth of Christ began. Our older Christmas carols date from that period. But in the 17th century, here in Connecticut and Massachusetts, Christmas was not celebrated at all in Puritan households. It was just another day of work if it didn't fall on the Sabbath day. It was really the Victorian era that made Christmas into the holiday that we know it as today, with the gift exchanges, the Christmas trees, the visits from Santa, more Christmas carols, and all this sort of hoopla. Well, here at the Windsor Historical Society, we're celebrating Windsor artists then and now, and we have a variety of artwork for sale in our museum gift shop. And I just want to show you a few of the things here. This is a limited edition giclée print by our Windsor artist Barbara Van Winkelen, and it shows the Huntington House, and many of you saw the wonderful Huntington House Museum, which had to close last year, but this is a print that Barbara made using an old photograph with Clark Huntington, who was the last inhabitant of the house, and he's sitting there with his mother and his younger sisters, and his father is in fact taking the picture. Now, Barbara is known for her beautiful renditions of flowers, and you've got the dogwood blossoms here. There are only a few of these left, and these can be purchased here for $100. Giclée print is a technique that will never fade. It's a wonderful, wonderful keepsake of the Huntington House and of Barbara Van Winkelen. The other thing that I would like to show you is a series of prints by local artist Daniel Mack. And some of you have been seeing Dr. Mack and his interviews on Win TV. Dr. Mack was an OBGYN who delivered 8,000 babies in the course of his career. He's a well-loved figure in Windsor, and when he retired, he began to take up his paintbrushes and paint scenes of his childhood growing up on Mack Street in the 1920s and 1930s. His family had the Mack brickyard. There were many brickyards in town. This was one of Windsor's major industries in the 19th century and the early 20th century. And so Dr. Mack's prints really show all of the operations in the brickyard. And there are two other prints that show his family life. They basically grew everything that they needed. Couldn't go to the store. Basically, there weren't supermarkets in the 20s and in the 30s, so they had a smokehouse. They basically made their own cider. They had cows, they had chickens, and the series of prints really details this wonderfully rich experience that Dr. Mack and his brothers and sisters had in Windsor. Now, some of the other things that you'll find here at the Windsor Historical Society, we've got behind me this shelf of beautiful stoneware mugs and pie dishes and tankards. They all say on them Windsor, 1633. We are the oldest English settlement in Connecticut. And if you want to find out why we're older than Wethersfield, just come here. We've got all the proof in our library. This is also the only place that you can get these wonderful Windsor storyteller books that the town's clerk's office put together in 1990, and then I guess 1993 or 1994. This is a marvelous keepsake, fascinating stories that Windsor residents have told about growing up and about their experiences in Windsor. We have t-shirts that say right on them, Windsor, Connecticut, since 1633. We've got them in a variety of colors. We've got toys. These are the ball and cup toys. We've got things like dominoes, arrowheads, just looking over at them, drums, toys that kids can actually play with that stimulate the imagination. I do want to tell you that on Saturday, December 9th, from 2 to 4 p.m., we're having a jewelry making demonstration and sale here as part of the Windsor Artist Then and Now exhibition programming. You just might find the perfect gift, and you would be supporting the work of Windsor artists Joan Benoit, Lizelle and Alexis Crowley, Michelle Hirschfeld, and Lucinda Moses. We are open Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 4, and you can find more information about all of our programs and about our store on our website, which is www.windsorhistoricalsociety.org. We certainly hope to see you here, and all of us at the Windsor Historical Society wish you a happy holiday season. Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. It's always great to learn a bit of Windsor history. We'd like to close the episode by wishing you a happy holiday from the Windsor Chamber and all of our Windsor businesses. Take care.
Happy holidays.